Greetings, St. Paul's. Blessings on this Wednesday. Today, the Church celebrates the lesser feast of Channing Moore Williams, who was a missionary bishop in China and Japan in the early 20th century. The psalm appointed for his feast is the first part of Psalm 96. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the whole earth. Sing to the Lord and bless his name. Proclaim the good news of his salvation from day to day. It's a wonderful, I think, psalm to think about someone who was called to go out into the world and proclaim Christ in a place that was unknown to him, to a people whose language he didn't know at the very beginning. We are all called to go out to places that we may not have expected to be called to, but where God says go, and where God will give us the gifts that are needed to fulfill the ministry to which we are sent. Yesterday was World AIDS Day. When the AIDS pandemic started many years ago now, no one was prepared for it. No one knew what to expect or how to minister to the world and to particularly to the people who were suffering because of it and their families. Regardless, so many ministers of the church did what needed to be done so that the people who were suffering knew of God's love and of God's grace and presence with them. I'd like to highlight particularly today my predecessor, Jack Eastwood, who during his time here at St. Paul's and even after ministered greatly to the people of our neighborhoods, of the localities close to St. Paul's, who were suffering due to the AIDS pandemic. And we also today especially want to ask God's presence and prayer with those who are ministering to God's creatures and people in the season of this new pandemic of COVID-19. Many, if not all of us, don't fully understand the impact of this disease. Nonetheless, we are called in this time, in this place, to preach the good news of Jesus Christ, even in the midst of disease, suffering, and death. We are called to sing to the Lord a new song and to invite the whole earth to sing with us. We're invited to sing to the Lord and bless God's name and proclaim the good news of God's salvation day in and day out. Because even in the midst of suffering, pandemic, death, hunger, in all these circumstances, God continues to bless. God continues to provide life and possibility. And we are called as God's people to preach hope, to preach renewal, to preach life, and to preach in death the hope and promise of resurrection to eternal life. Be blessed on this day, St. Paul's, and continue the good work of singing God's praise to the world. Let it be known from the hilltops, the rooftops, the valleys, low places, that God is the God of all, and that God is with us in all circumstances, in all conditions of our human living. Stay blessed.